How are we, lads? Oh, yes. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia, and boy, oh boy, am I in a good mood tonight. Welcome to the Rugby League Breakdown Podcast, the off-season edition. I believe we're at episode number 28. I believe the chat will be able to tell us. I can't fucking remember. There's that many episodes. The Rugby League Breakdown Podcast, the off-season edition, November 5th, 2021. Now, the good news is tonight. Bad news is the NRL trolled us all and did not reveal the entire draw, which I'm still pretty pissed off a little bit about. But Sam Revel, Pro Enzo Vids, how the hell are you? So we'll start with you, Sam. How are you, mate?
I'm doing really well, mate. I definitely felt like my tyres got deflated first thing this morning. But no, I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. I hope Lorenzo's doing well, and I hope the chat's doing well as well. Thank you for having me, mate. It's good to be back.
No worries, mate. Lorenzo, how are you, mate? Obviously, yeah, mate. Well, how the fuck are you, pretty much? How are you?
Yeah, good, bro. I'm great, actually. It's good to get the Breakdown Podcast up again. So, yeah, I'm keen.
Oh, I'm keen as well. I also want to give a quick shout out in the chat to Jimmy Miller. He says, Nick, give me a shout out. Shout out to Jimmy Miller. He's a very loyal supporter of the channel. So shout out to Jimmy. And also, before we came on the air tonight, 4 Para NRL games in the live chat. It's donated a $5 donation via PayPal. So shout out the 4 Para NRL games for the $5 donation. I really appreciate that. If you guys want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so. PayPal is obviously the way to go. But it's going to be a good show tonight. I'm really keen to get into it. I'm just reading the chat as we speak. I can see Wise Fanatics is there. Jason. We got a few people rolling in the live chat, which is absolutely fantastic. Fanatics reckons he's keen. It's good to have Fanatics in the live chat. Jesus Christ, there's that many people in the chat. It's hard to keep up. If I miss out on your comment, I apologize. Jimmy Miller says, I seen Nick and Pro Enzo Vids did a video saying the round 1 draw was out. Yep, the round 1 draw is out. Parramatta will play the Gold Coast, Jimmy. So that should be fun. The chat's going absolutely off. It's good to see the live chat going off. You know, obviously it's November. There's no rugby league until fucking February. So it's good to see the chat still active about the rugby league. I know the draw was meant to come out today, but it's still good to see people still keen for the footy, even though there's no footy on for a while now. But, yeah, I'm trying to catch up with the chat, but it's going to be impossible to fucking get it all up to date. But I reckon we should get into it, lads. Let's get into it. There's a little bit to talk about. Not a whole lot to talk about, but I come prepared. I've got the notes written down and ready to go. So let's start off with the first topic, as always, as you guys would know. 5 topics for the Rugby League Breakdown Podcast. We'll start off. The first topic, the NRL 2021 draw for round 1 is revealed. I'm fairly happy with it. I mean, it definitely could have been better. I'll start with you, Sam. What are your thoughts on the round 1 fixture?
Certainly not perfect, mate. I haven't been able to talk about the round 1 yet. I love Penrith versus Manly to kick things off. First time since 2004, Penrith have kicked the season off. First time since 1998, Manly have found themselves in the opening game of a season opener. It's going to be a blockbuster. I love Friday night football as well. I think I'll turn the telly off Saturday 7:30 for Wests versus Storm. And on Sunday, Arvo with Para versus Gold Coast down there at Bankwest. I get that sometimes you've got to have the lesser followed teams or Queensland teams or interstate teams go into enemy territory in round one, because that will just gain bigger traction. But it's a weird decision, isn't it, to have Eels and Titans as the first Sunday Arvo game on free to air. And then, Cowboys and Bulldogs, mate. It's going to be very interesting, very, very important game. Can't wait.
Come on, the Cows.
Yep.
Pro Enzo Vids, obviously, me and you, we did a live stream about it the other night when the draw came out. Anything, have you changed your mind on anything about the draw? I think you gave it like a 7 out of 10 or something. What do you think about the draw, mate?
That's right. I gave it a 7 out of 10 for the draw, but I think the thing you mentioned the other night, how there's no rivalries to kick off round one, I think there should be at least one rivalry game, if not more than one, because I feel like if you're going to kick off the season, try and make it a bit more, I guess, sort of just a bit more stronger and a bit more like entertaining, and make it worth for people to watch, because I think having a rival game to start the season would be very good. That's one thing I think the draw's missing, but other than that, I don't think I have a main issue.
I like the draw. I love Thursday night, the opening game. I think it's fantastic between Penrith and Manly. Massive game there. I love Friday night as well. I love the Warriors and Dragons game. It's up at Redcliffe. It'll be 5 o'clock in Queensland, so it'll be an earlier start because of the daylight savings situation. So that should be interesting. Broncos and Souths. We all know that's going to be a huge, huge crowd. Reynolds versus the Rabbitohs. So pretty happy about that. Super Saturday's got some good stuff, man. Canberra versus Cronulla. I'm really looking forward to that game. Roosters and Knights is quite interesting. Tigers Melbourne's a bit of a sour taste sort of game. It's like putting lemonade in a glass of Coke. It's just not good. And then on Sunday, on the laugh. Sunday, Parramatta versus the Gold Coast. We spoke about this, Pro Enzo. It's not really good for Channel 9 having that game on. And Cows and the Dogs, which I'm keen for, but let's face facts. Last year's Wooden Spooners versus last year's second last is pretty much bullshit. Pretty much a shit game. But new year, both teams look a little bit different, so it should be good. But Sam, what would be your favourite game for round one besides the Cowboys game?
Oh, Penrith versus Manly. That was almost everyone's second option to be the grand final last year. And to get it round one, I mean, there's no warm-ups to start 2022 off for these two clubs. They want to win this game. I liken round one to a cog below semi-final football, mate. I think round one's so important, especially this game. It's going to be so good to watch on Thursday.
Yeah, Pro Enzo Vids, obviously you're going to say Manly as well, but besides Manly, what other game are you really, really keen for round one?
To be honest, I reckon Broncos and Souths might be actually a good game, mainly because of obviously Reynolds being at the Broncos now is going to make it pretty worth watching. But I think just also the Broncos and how they're built for next year, that I think they've really built really strongly come 2022. And even Souths, I think Souths are in that building sort of phase now, because they're obviously without a recognised halfback. I think that'll be a good contest. I really do think it'll be a good contest. I'm looking forward to that one.
Well, I'm looking forward to Canberra versus Cronulla. I love that game. I can see plenty of points in that game. The Raiders obviously had a really disappointing year in 2021. They will look to bounce back next year. Cronulla, the additions that they have got, Matt Ikuvalu going to the Sharks, which is another interesting signing. Dale Finucane going into the front row for the Sharks. Cameron McGuinness. I am looking forward to the Raiders versus Sharks game. I'm really keen for that game in round one. Another game that I'm keen for that a lot of people are going to go, bleh. I love the Warriors versus Dragons game. I love that game. I think it's a game that's got plenty of potential, plenty of attack, plenty of unknown as well. The Warriors are very unknown. The Dragons, well, they are building a decent roster. So I'm keen for those two games in the opening round. But I've got to say, the round one fixture is a little bit disappointing because How can you have a round one fixture with not one single rivalry game? Sam, what do you think about that? Not one rivalry game in the opening round.
Personally, man, for every round one, forever and a day, if I was in charge, I'd have Souths and Easts, and I'd have Broncos and Cowboys every time, every round one. And it'd be Roosters and Souths to kick it off on that Thursday night every time.
Yeah, I agree with you. Promanzo Vids, should there be at least one rivalry game?
Yeah, I said before, yeah, of course it should be. I think that's the best way to kick off a round one season is by having at least one or two rivalry games because it makes it just the opening of the season much more better and entertaining, in my opinion. So, yeah, for sure.
Mate, what I would have done, I would have switched up on Sunday. I would have had Canterbury play Parramatta at Bank West on the Sunday afternoon 4 o'clock game, and I would have had the Gold Coast play the Cowboys up at Townsville. I would have switched that around. It would have been fine. I think, have a look at it. Channel 9 want TV ratings. Parramatta versus Canterbury is going to sell at Bank West. Parramatta versus Gold Coast. That's not going to fucking sell. Cowboys and Titans up at Townsville. I don't think it will sell big, but it's a Queensland derby. You're going to get a decent crowd in. So it makes more sense, doesn't it?
The only thing I'll say to that is that Sydney Parramatta fans, they haven't been able to see their team play since, June or July last year.
Exactly.
So it will be a big crowd, I would imagine. Fingers crossed, it will get 20,000 or at least 15,000 there. I think the first couple of rounds next season, no matter who's playing where, I think there's going to be bumper crowds in Sydney because they haven't played there since June.
I think that's why they're going to play a lot of games at Bankwest or CommBank Stadium, which is now known as, because people are desperate for the footy. They want to get out. They want to go. And I have suggested this 1,000 times. I've lost count. Next year, you got to have some double headers at Stadium Australia, ANZ Stadium. You've got to have double headers. With the NRL being up in Queensland at the back end of last year, I think having a few double headers at Bank West, at Stadium Australia, hell, even at the Roosters home ground later in the year, I think that opens up second last round, have a double header. I mean, you'll make more money. A double header at Bank West would be good as well. So double headers are going to bring more people to the ground. They're going to have a better atmosphere because let's face it, right? Let's face it. Rabbitohs versus Cronulla, right? At ANZ Stadium. Probably get about 8,000, 7,000. But if you have a double header, Rabbitohs, Roosters, Sharks and Eels at ANZ double header, probably going to get about 50,000, 60,000. Easy. I just made the NRL heaps of money by having a double header. But overall, I think the draw is decent. I think they have obviously had better draws in the past, but I think it's decent. I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10 or something, 5 out of 10. What about you, Sam? Out of 10, the draw?
6, just a flat 6.
A flat 6, yeah, that's fair. Lorenzo, you said a 7, so
yep,
sounds good. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Topic number 4. Mitchell Pearce, the Newcastle Knights halfback, is going to the Catalan Dragons over there in the Super League. Obviously, James Maloney just retired from Rugby League. He was at Catalans. He just retired. He's going to be playing some sort of French Rugby League in a different competition over in France, I believe, or coaching or something, whatever he's doing. Mitchell Pearce is going to the Catalan Dragons, which means his NRL career is pretty much over now. Mitchell Pearce has had a pretty good NRL career. Obviously, a bit unlucky to be playing in the same era with the likes of Thurston, Cronk, Lockyer, all these sort of players. But, Sam, what are your thoughts on the NRL career of Mitchell Pearce?
Could have been better, mate. Let's not forget that just a couple of months, a year ago now, that he was involved in an affair and a scandal with his missus and whatnot, and that sort of derailed the trust. A couple of cogs with the Newcastle team, and at Sydney Roosters is where we'll all. I don't mean to speak for years. is where we'll remember him mostly from and fondly of. Won the comp with them back in, 2013. So, and yeah, I don't think he fulfilled his potential, but I don't think he just didn't get to that next level for me, mate.
Okay, fair enough. Provenzo Vids, what are your thoughts on the career of Mitchell Pearce?
Oh, look, it's been fairly good, I think. He's definitely shown he's a quality halfback who seems to consistently play well for whoever he plays for. But career-wise, I think, he's been good. I mean, there's obviously been some bad parts about his career, like in terms of off-field drama and all that
incident.
and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, the dog incident. Yep. But I think in terms of playing career, I think it's been good. It's been good. He's definitely been very good for the Knights since he's been there for the last 4 years. At the Roosters, like Sam said before, we'll remember him more better at the Roosters than at the Knights. But yeah, he's a good player, very quality player, and I think he's done well in the NRL despite some drama along the way.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, for me personally, I think Mitchell Pearce has had a fantastic career. I think he's done a lot in the game. He's won a grand final. He's won an Origin series. He's played for Australia. Obviously, playing for New South Wales was a bit tough for him at the start because he was up against the likes of Lockyer, Thurston, Cronk, Smith, Slater, Inglis, Hodges, Matt Scott, Petro Seven-Seaver, all these sort of players. And when you're up against a team with that, it's not going to be easy for you. But I think Mitchell Pearce has had a very good career. His career highlight for me, probably, it's hard to really say what his career highlight is because there's been a few good ones for him. But for me, probably the 2013 grand final where he won the grand final for the Roosters. And I think Origin 3, 2019, when New South Wales beat Queensland on the full-time siren. You got to remember, everyone talks about the Tedesco try in that Origin series in Game 3 in the decider in 2019. Mitchell Pearce is the one that threw that ball. He threw that pass. It was a gutsy pass. He threw it over, I think it was to Turbo, and he gave it to Fergo, and then Fergo gave it on the inside to Teddy. And you got to remember, if Pearce doesn't throw that long ball, that moment never, ever happened. So that's another moment for mine that stands out for me. And his first game for the Newcastle Knights when he debuted for them in 2018, I believe it was, kicking the field goal in Golden Point against Manly in his first ever game for Newcastle. I know Lorenzo doesn't want to look at the screen when I'm saying that. I don't blame you, bro. But I think Pearce has had a fantastic career, a quality halfback, a quality career. Everyone will bag him for his off-field stuff, but I am a fan of Mitchell Pearce. I've enjoyed his career, and good luck to him over at Catalans. I am really happy for Mitchell Pearce. I think he's had a good career, and good luck to him over in France. Lorenzo, what do you reckon? Well, obviously, you already made your opinion about it, but what's your career moment for Mitchell Pearce, Lorenzo?
I mean, I don't want to say two of them because obviously both of them are against Manly, some of his best moments, but probably one would have to be the 2019 Game 3 of State of Origin where, no one gave him a chance. Everyone rubbished him. Everyone was saying, oh, look, Mitch Pearce is playing. We're not going to win the game. But, he killed it in that game from memory in 2019. And he was, if he didn't pass the ball out to Turbo to Ferguson, that try would have never happened for Tedesco. So that has to be one of the best for Pearce. Yep, that one.
Before I ask you, Sam, they're going to really fucking miss Mitchell Pearce next year, the Newcastle Knights. That's what I will say. Sam, what's your career highlight for Mitchell Pearce?
Probably having a Barry in the 2017 preliminary final, honestly. His last great game was when they pipped the Gold Coast Titans with a couple of weeks to go in the regular season. He was excellent in that game.
I love this
not his best moment, obviously. It's sort of hard to decipher, really. He's got a couple of field goals here and there, and I don't know. There's nothing that really stands out to me about Mitchell Pearce, but he has had a very good career. It's just that there's nothing really glaringly obvious to me
Yeah,
that
okay.
stands out about him.
Yep. All right. So I think he's had a great career. So I'm happy for Mitchell Pearce. You're on the fence of like, yeah, he was a good player, but nothing amazing. That's the impression I'm getting from Sam. And Provenzo Vids, you think Pearce just had a good career. Is that right?
Yep.
All right. I've got another question to fire at you. It's off topic. Is Mitchell Pearce worthy of Hall of Fame?
No way. Not at that level, no.
He'd be scraping in if he did get in. But yeah, I don't think I would either. But he's won a comp though, hasn't he? He's done everything that there is to do in the game, but he's never really excelled, you know? I don't know. He's a weird case for me to explain Mitchell Pearce without sounding like a numpty.
I'm gonna disagree with you both, and I'm gonna say Mitchell Pearce is worthy of Hall of Fame level. You know, you've got the Immortals, which you don't go near the Immortals. If Mitchell Pearce is not in the Hall of Fame, he's that close to the Hall of Fame. He's not far away from it. I reckon he should be, so we're going to disagree with that. But I think he's had a quality career, and you never know. How will he go in Super League? I guess we'll find out next year. He should go well because Catalans haven't lost anything besides Maloney, but they gained Pearce, so it's a win-win for them. All right, let's move on now. So let's get into the rumors / re-signing topic. Now, there's a bit to get through here. This is going to be very interesting. I'm just reading the chat. Someone's talking about Corey Norman. Yeah, we'll get into that very soon. All right. Rumors / re-signing. So we'll start off with the re-signing. And it was announced today, Parramatta Eels prop forward Regan Campbell-Gillard has re-signed for the Parramatta Eels, which everyone thought he was going to go to the Dolphins, including myself. But the media's been fooled once again, which is fantastic. Regan Campbell-Gillard re-signs with the Eels. Sam, your initial thoughts on this from the Eels?
Fantastic signing for the Parramatta Eels to the end of 2025, I believe it is. That it came out that yes, he was going to go, and just today it's just been announced, blindsiding everyone. So I think it's a great signing for Parramatta, and it's a bad miss for the Dolphins.
Came out of fucking nowhere too. What was I doing? I was sitting on the couch having a punt on the dogs and the horses, and I go on Instagram. Regan Campbell-Gillard re-signs. I'm going, what the fuck? Where'd this come from? Come from nowhere. Yeah, good. They had to keep him. He was must keep. Lorenzo, what are your thoughts on Parramatta keeping Regan Campbell-Gillard?
Yeah, it's good for Parramatta, but I thought he wouldn't take up the 2023 option with the Eels, though. I thought that was going to be over and done with, and he'll be off to the Dolphins. I thought he actually said that himself, but obviously didn't happen. But look, it's good he's staying in Parramatta. I think he's a key player, especially for their forward pack and for the rest of the team. I think he's a very good player, and he's going to it's a smart move by Parramatta to keep him for sure, and Dolphins would be fuming. So good to see Parramatta keep RCG for another couple of years.
I want to know how much money Regan Campbell-Gillard got offered. I want to know what he's going to be getting this season, because the Dolphins were willing to throw about $800,000 at him a season. I want to know about this, and you got to remember as well, when Regan Campbell-Gillard was having those fallouts at Penrith, no one really wanted to buy Regan Campbell-Gillard. I think the Dragons wanted him, but they couldn't afford him at the time. And then Parramatta sort of went, we'll have you. We'll pay you some decent coin. Come on over to Parramatta. They gave him an opportunity. And I think Regan Campbell-Gillard's probably thinking, well, I need to show some respect to the club that bought me when I was going nowhere in my career. Campbell-Gillard was stuck at New South Wales Cup. His career was going backwards. Parramatta signed him. His career is pretty much saved thanks to Brad Arthur and the Eels. So I think Regan Campbell-Gillard is just going to stay loyal and don't give a shit about the money he's on. And if you look at Parramatta, they've got a squad that is in the top 4, top 6 the last couple of years. They are not far away from getting to that premiership. They need to keep as many of these players as they can. And if they want to win a comp or go close to winning a comp, they've got to re-sign all these players as much as they can. So I am very glad Regan Campbell-Gillard's staying at Parramatta. Well done to him as well. Fair play to him. Because It would have been easy for Cam McGillar to just go, oh, this club's offering me more money. I just want to go here, get more money, blah, blah, blah. I'm glad he's staying at the Eels. I really am. Anything
They
else you
got
want to add?
somewhere. They got somewhere in the vicinity of 10 players off contract by the end of next season. And there was no telling come November 1st recently that some of them could have taken an offer elsewhere and have their contract paid out. And so this is a really big key. It's a massive cog for Parramatta, knowing that there's a bit of stability in the front row. And Junior
Yes.
Paulo now, he's under a cloud as well, and he needs to be locked up by Parramatta as well.
If Parramatta are fair income, they'll keep Junior Paulo if they can afford him. But the thing is, some of these big name players are going to have to take pay cuts because the salary cap nowadays is not easy. Isaiah Papali'i is one that we'll get to very soon. But look, Lorenzo, any last thoughts on it? Ken McGillard staying at Parramatta?
No, all I can say is it's good. It's good for Parramatta and it's good for him in his future.
Yeah, good on him. All right, let's move on to the next play now. Re-signings. Oh, there's not really any other re-signings really going on. Let's go to the rumours. Well, actually, no. The signings first. The Canberra Raiders, they bought Adam Elliott, which he's a good player. I know Sam doesn't like him. I can see what he's doing on the screen. Adam Elliott, good player, but a massive risk. Off-field issues. I like the signing, but I don't know if I like the off-field stuff. Sam, Adam Elliott to Canberra, what are your thoughts on this?
I remember a couple of years ago, he had an interview with Ben Eichen and Paul Kent about raising money for charity and saying that he's turned a corner. And ever since then, he's had 2 or 3 off-field incidents, like really bad brain explosions off the field. And he's susceptible to brain explosions on the field as well. I can see why people like Adam Elliott. I do. But he is a liability. He is going to have a brain explosion somehow, some way. And I'm sorry to put that sort of dark cloud upon him and talk about him in a negative light like that. But I can't help it. How can I not talk about him in a negative light when he's done all that he has done? I don't think he's fully remorseful for what he did with Millie Boyle a few months ago. I don't think they both get it or appreciate it fully. And I'm happy for him to call up right now and sort of say you're wrong. I'm fine with that, but that's because I haven't heard anything really from his end. So I don't like it. I think Ricky Stewart, we all know that he has the patience of that much. It's not going to take a whole lot for Ricky Stewart to blow up deluxe at Adam Elliott next season. I think it's a liability signing, mate.
So you're not a fan of the signing one bit?
A little bit, mate, but he's got to keep his finger out.
Completely understand your point of view. Lorenzo, what are your thoughts on the Raiders getting Adam Elliott? What do you think about it, mate?
Yeah, it's a risk, because obviously we've seen what he's done on and off the field. It's not good. He's definitely damaged his reputation for his actions and whatnot. But I think before we've seen him have some good games. Like he's actually had some good games before the Bulldogs. Like I've seen him play some good games, and I think this year at the Queen's birthday and when the Dragons played the Bulldogs, I met Adam Elliott, and he was pretty kind in that. But yeah, look, I just think he's a good person from what I've heard, but just he just gets a bit too carried away with the wrong stuff. That's all. So look, I hope it goes well at Canberra. I hope it's a successful transition, I think. And I think the good thing about him going to Canberra is that, he's closer to home because Tathra is where he's from, apparently, and that's actually close to Canberra. I've been there before. And yeah, look, I think it's good for him to be out of Sydney back at somewhere like Canberra, around that sort of area. So I think it's a good move for him personally. But yeah, it's a risk at the same time. So I'm sure he would have to really fix his discipline and has to be at his best when he's at the club because Ricky won't accept any bullshit from him.
I don't get it. I don't get the signing. I really don't get it. Why are the Raiders buying back rowers? Why? They've got fucking hundreds of them. They've got Elliot Whitehead, Corey Harawira-Naera, Hudson Young. Tarpany can play back row.
Corey Horsburgh.
Horsburgh, he's more of a middle forward, but can play on an edge if needed.
Yep.
Why are they buying back rows? I mean, I talk about the New Zealand Warriors having about 10,000 second rowers, but why are they buying Adam Elliott? I mean, if Adam Elliott went to any club in Sydney, I would have had no problem with it. I would have supported it. I would have went, righto, good signing. Looking forward to seeing what he can do. He's going to a club that has a lot of off-field and bad behaviour issues. Jordan Rapana, drink driving. Tom Starling, what was it? Nightclub incident, bashing somebody. Who else? Horsburgh last year did something. It was drink driving as well, I think it was.
Yep.
They have a lot of off-field issues, the Raiders. I'm very concerned about the Raiders in their off-field stuff. I don't know. If Adam Elliott went to a club in Sydney, I would have went, okay, this might be good for him. But he's going to a club that has off-field drama. Adam Elliott has had more off-field drama than just about anyone in the current NRL. So, such a risky signing. One mistake and you're out. But I guess when he signed the contract, there would have been rules in place. Or you have to make sure you do this. You make sure you have to check into that thing at that day and whatever. So, fuck, it's risky, man. I don't know what they're doing. They don't need forwards, the Raiders. They got plenty of forwards. They don't need them.
Would you have him coming off the bench or starting? I'd have him coming off the bench.
There's no. I can't even see him in the 17.
Yo.
No way. I mean, the Raiders' back row for me next year would be Elliot Whitehead and probably Harawira-Naera. And on the bench, you probably go with Dunamis Louis, Corey Horsburgh, and Hudson Young, and then probably Starling if he's still there, or someone else. I can't see Adam Elliott getting in. Orion Sutton, another one.
Yep.
Joseph Tarpany. I can't see Adam Elliott getting in the 17.
True.
At all. I genuinely can't see it. I mean, if you look at Canberra, they've got their halves sorted. They've got the fullback. They've got the hooker. They probably should have went for another outside back, maybe. Someone great. Like, they've got Rapana, who's a really good winger. Simonson's a done. Sebastian Chris is good. Xavier Savage is good. Jared Croak is getting old. Maybe they should have went for an outside back. I don't know. But Adam Elliott's a really weird signing. I'm not a fan of it, but I hope he goes well. I hope he kills it there, man. I really do. Right, let's move on to another one. The Sydney Roosters have bought Paul Momorowski. This is a fucking great signing from the Roosters. Everyone wants to write him off, say, oh, F the Roosters, blah, blah, blah. I'm sick of them and all this. If you're sick of them before, you're about to get sick of them even more. Because look what they have now. Their team going into next year is one of the most stacked teams I've seen in the last couple of years. Paul Momorowski signs with the Roosters, leaves Penrith, who just won a grand final at Penrith, goes back to the Roosters. I think this is an amazing signing from the Chook. Great defensive centre. He's going to replace Josh Morris, and he will do his job well. I'll start with you first, Lorenzo. What do you think about Paul Momorowski going to the Roosters?
It's good buy. Yeah, he's a good player. It's been like he's been to like 6 or 7 clubs now. I don't know how many clubs he's been to, but he's been to heaps now, and he's back to the Roosters where he kind of started his career off. It's good. I think he's going to bring a lot to that club. I think he's a good addition to the Roosters back line. Where he plays, I'm not sure. I think he'll be centre, but like there's Joseph Manu, there's Sawali. There's a lot of options. But
Sawali
I guess
on the wing now because Ikavalu's gone to Cronulla, so maybe they'll do that.
Yeah, that could happen. Even B-Moz is retired now, so there's options for where he could be. So yeah, I like the signings. It's a good pickup, and I think that's going to strengthen the Roosters even more come next year.
What do you reckon, Sam? Do you like the signing?
Yeah, I do. He impressed a hell of a lot towards the back end of this year, and he and Joseph Manu as a centre combination. That's
Oh,
bloody saucy combo, mate. It's a saucy combo. Good on him. He's forging quite the career for himself in a short space of time, hasn't he? So I wish him nothing but the best next year, man. I like Momorovsky.
he's underrated as fuck, I reckon. Very underrated. I mean, I just want to picture this to you guys for a second as well.
Yeah,
The Sydney Roosters potential starting team. Get this right. Fullback Tedesco. On the wings, Tupou and Sawali. Centers, Momorowski and Manu. Halves, Sam Walker, Luke Keary. Front row, Takiyaho, Hargraves, Hooker, Connor Watson. Back row, Crichton, Tupanui, and at lock, Victor Radley. And on the bench, they'll have Sam Verrills, Lindsay Collins, Nat Butcher, and probably Egan Butcher or something like that. That's a fucking great team.
it's terrifying.
I'm
It's
frightened.
terrifying, mate.
I don't want to play him.
Premiership favourites for sure.
I don't want to play him. Connor Watson will play hooker, I'm hearing. So I like that as well. Oh my god, the Roosters are scary as fuck next year, man. And plus they've got Billy Smith to come back as well in the centers, in the outside backs. He's a depth player, a young kid. The half depth is unbelievable too. Like Adam Kieran who can play anywhere. Hutchison, Lockie Lamb. Fuck.
Yep.
Roosters scary next year, man. Scary.
Yep.
They didn't even need to buy Momorowski too. Like that's the funny thing. They didn't even have to buy him, but they just went out like, oh, they got money because Cordner retired and Brett Morris and Josh Morris retired, and they've got a bit of money in the cap. The Roosters still have about $1 million to play with, you know.
Get bucket. Do they really?
They've still got a bit of money.
Fair dinkum.
They're gonna fucking. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Good
watch
luck
out.
stopping the Roosters. I'll tell you what. I'll give you all a spoiler alert. If the NRL season started next week, the Roosters would be my tip for the premiership. Whether you like them or you hate them, I don't give a flying shit. If the NRL was next week, the Roosters would be my tip. Because I can't see that team is stacked. They're going to be so hard to stop next year. Very hard. All right, let's move on to another signing. The Cowboys out. Sam, the Cowboys have picked up Jermaine Tunua-Brown from the Warriors. Bit of a bench forward, sort of depth sort of player. I don't know. I don't know why we're not targeting big name forwards, but we're going after fucking backup players for some reason. What do you think about this signing?
Give them time, mate. They'll sign a blockbuster signing soon enough. But Jermaine Tunua-Brown, yeah, he did some good things. I like him. He's a big lump of a man, and yeah, I'm looking forward to see how he goes under Todd Payton. We've signed 3 Warriors players. That's all we've done. Warriors fans must friggin' hate us at the moment, Nick.
I blame Todd Payton for that.
Well, exactly.
Well, speaking of Warriors players, we've signed 3 of them already. Why don't we go take one of their back rows? I got about 7 of them in their fucking side. Why don't we go take Ben Masila off them? I want that. I'd love
He's
to
a
see
good
that.
player. He's a good player. But
Why?
yeah, I think we need to look. Yeah, another second rower. Yeah, definitely another second rower type of player for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Or Eli Katoa. Warriors have got about 7 or 8 back rowers. They don't need any more. Lorenzo, what are your thoughts on the Cowboys signing Jermaine Tunua-Brown?
Yeah, he's still young and fairly unproven, in my opinion. I haven't really seen a whole lot. I haven't really seen a whole lot of him to really give an actual full opinion. But from what I've seen, I think he's got potential. I think he's obviously seems very tall. And I think Warriors fans said some. Yeah, I guess there was some Warriors fans who had some pretty good feedback based on Tunua-Brown. So hopefully that sort of feedback reflects on how he goes to the Cowboys next season. Yeah, look, I think give him time. And hopefully it's a good pickup by the Cowboys. I think, he's only like 22, 23 or one of those sort of ages. So, he's got time, and hopefully during that time, he goes really well. It becomes a good buy.
I'm going to go on record and say this, and I want this to be uploaded on the Rugby League Breakdown podcast Instagram page. In my opinion, Jermaine Tanua-Brown will just be another Lachlan Burke clone. He will be a terrible signing. I don't believe in it one bit. The Cowboys went for Dale Finucane. They missed out. They went for Tarek Sims. Couldn't get it. They went for Kurt Capewell, and they missed out as well. The Cowboys are buying too many too many backup forwards. They need to be going stronger and harder for big name players. Stop going for forwards that are just below average. Had no success. It's a problem, and I think Jermaine Tanua-Brown will just be another Lachlan Burr.
Oh, that's pretty harsh, bro. That's pretty intense. But he's a young man, and let's hope that he does good things, mate, because he does have a fair rap on him. And I like how he went out there and said, "No, I want to continue playing footy, even if it means playing for the St. George Illawarra Dragons." So, I hope he comes out and kicks it for us, mate.
Well, he won't. I don't reckon he will. But hey, we'll come back next year after the season's over, and we'll see how Jermaine Tanua-Brown went, and we'll see who's right. Sam, you give him a chance.
I'm crossing my fingers, mate. All the best to him.
I'm going to write him off and say he's going to be a shit signing and waste of money. I don't want to be negative, but I just don't see how he fits in the team. I can't even see him in the 17 at all. I can't. I dead set can't. But you never know. He might prove me wrong. Let's move on to another signing now. The West Tigers. They picked up Tyrone Peachy. Fuck, they paid a lot of money for him too, which I found a bit ridiculous. Lorenzo, Tyrone Peachy to the Tigers. What are your thoughts on this signing?
Now, don't get me wrong. I think Peach is a great player, and I think his versatility is very good for anybody where he plays, because he can obviously play his positions, and he's obviously a proven player himself. But to pay about $850K, I think it was, by the Tigers to sign him, that is way too much for someone like Tyrone Peachy, because I think Peachy, he's signed there to play that utility role and that jersey 14 role. But you're going to pay $850K for someone who's going to play a jersey 14 role. I mean, that's not right. That's just poor management by the Tigers, in my opinion. But look, I don't know. It's a good signing. I think he will go well when he plays. But seriously, though, I think he's overpaid, way too overpaid.
$850K. Oh, what the fuck?
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
What the fuck are they doing? Tigers! Pull your fucking head in. No wonder why you missed the fucking finals the last 10, 11 years. Fuck me. Tyrone Peachy. $850K or whatever the fuck it's on. It's worth more. It's more than 700. I know that for a fact. Are you fucking serious? Tigers. Justin Pascoe. Michael Maguire. Resign, you dickheads. What are you doing? The Tigers are going to have no fucking money left in the salary cap. The most money I would pay for Tyrone Peachy right now is probably $400,000 a season. Anything over that is just ridiculous. Tyrone Peachy is a great player, and he will be a great signing for the Tigers because he'll probably play as that ball-playing lock. But why the fuck would you pay $850,000 a season for that? My God, what a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Go on, Sam. What do you reckon about it?
You guys said it beautifully. He's not worth $850K, I do like him though. I like Tyrone Peachy, but he's not worth $850K, and he's not going to be playing behind someone like David Fafita, or he's not going to have a Jaden Campbell to work with as well, mate. He's going to a lesser side, so he's really got to pull up his socks during the off season and during the season next year. Good
Lord. I just want to put my head in a cup of water. Just leave it there for 5 minutes. It's just why? Why?
And
He
you
would-
and you would hope that he's not going to find himself interchanging at hooker as well, because he's not a
Nah.
hooker.
No, he's not a hooker. No way in the world. Tigers, Jesus Christ. I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for the fans of the Tigers. The administration and all that, I have no sympathy for them. I feel sorry for the Tigers fans. Shout out to All Out Champa. Big
Yes.
Tigers fan. Rugby league YouTuber himself. You poor man. You got to deal with that every year. Pay overs for everyone. What's next? They're going to fucking pay $1 million for Tom Obachek. Fuck me. What's next? Fucking 700,000 for Ash Taylor. Good grief.
Yep.
Good grief. All right. Tyrone Peachy, I think it's a good signing, but the money is pathetic.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to another one. The Cronulla Sutherland Sharkies, or the Sharks, whatever you want to call them. They picked up Matt Ikuvalu. I love this signing. Ronaldo Mulatalo is now going to move into the centres. His actually preferred position is centre, believe it or not. I think he'll kill it at centre. Ikuvalu on the wing for the Sharks. I reckon it's a great signing. Sam, what do you reckon about it?
I like Ikuvalu. It's funny that Craig Fitzgibbon sort of said that, no, I'm not going to take anyone from the Roosters when I move to the Sharkies. So that's been blown out of the water straight away. But yeah, Ikuvalu and Mulatalo as a signing, I've tried to think about it over the past couple of hours, and yeah, it could be a very good bloody combination on one side of the attacking line for Cronulla Sharks next season. Very good.
Yeah. Lorenzo, Ikuvalu to the Sharks. What are your thoughts on the signing?
Yeah, he's obviously does a good job whenever he's playing for the Roosters. Like, I think he's more of a backup player. Look, I know that might sound a bit harsh than he's in, but I think he's just more of a backup player who comes in, does a job when there's injuries or suspensions. He might get a regular start at the Sharks, I feel like, but I think if you've got Mulatalo, Katoa, and all those sort of players playing instead, I think that's going to obviously make him more of a backup player than a first starting player. So, yeah, he might start the season, but for now, I think he's just a backup player who does a safe job when expected.
Well, the Sharks don't have a centre besides Ramian because Dugan's not there now, and I've actually got a very good inside report that Ramian will play right centre, Ronaldo Mulatalo will play left centre, and they're going to play Ikuvalu on the wing. So with Katoa and Will Kennedy at fullback. So that's the news that I'm hearing, and if that's the case, that's a great move from the Sharks. You fit them all in. Fuck, that's a quick backline.
So does that mean that Connor Tracy? What happens to Connor Tracy then? Is he 5'8" or he's a backup still?
Connor Tracy probably goes to that Jersey 14 role because Luke Metcalf, which we'll get to very soon, Connor Tracy and Matt Moylan will be fighting over that Jersey 14 role from what I understand. And I think the halves are going to be Nico Hines and Braden Trindle anyway. So the Sharks, they're building, and I think Matt Ikuvalu is an awesome signing. Awesome signing for the Sharks. He's a good winger too. Good winger. He knows his way to the try line. So I think we all agree it's a great signing for the Sharks. Now, after this one, we've got, I think this is the last one actually. Aaron Woodsy, going to the Dragons, from the Sharks to the Dragons. So he goes from one rival club to another. I think Aaron Woods still has what it takes to be a solid footballer. Does his job well. Everyone bags him because everyone bags the hell out of him. But I think Woods goes hard and does his job pretty well. I think he's a decent signing for the Dragons. What are your thoughts on the signing, Sam, on Aaron Woods to the Dragons?
There's a lot of meat in that fucking forward pack next season, mate. And he had one of his better years this year for sure.
He did, didn't he?
And I do hope he goes well. But I'm blown if I know if he's going to start or come off the bench, mate.
I reckon he might start. Because Paul Vaughan was with Blake Laurie in the starting front row, and I think Woods and Blake Laurie will probably start now, you would think. That's what I would do anyway.
I'm glad you said that because Blake Laurie did have whilst he was involved in that barbecue breach, he had a bloody go this year, Blake Laurie, and would be a detriment to him if they popped him back onto the interchange bench starting from next year. So, no, I'm glad you said that, dude.
Say what you will about Aaron Woods, because I know a lot of people don't like Aaron Woods, and everyone always bags him, but he does his job well, I reckon. Lorenzo, what do you think about Aaron Woods going to the Dragons?
Look, I think he's a good player. I think he does provide quality. He does provide the experience that a club needs. Obviously, he's getting to the back end of his career now, and obviously, he's slowing down as a player. But in particular this year, I think the whole 6 again rule, he's definitely been one of those forwards who have adjusted very well. I feel like, because not many people know this. Like he's not many people know this, but he's been one of those few forwards who have adjusted really well under the new rules. Like, he's really benefited. So, to me, I think it's a good pickup for the Dragons. I really do think it's good. Obviously he's getting older, but I think for experience-wise, and I think just for a bit of leadership, he does add a lot. So I like the signing of the Dragons.
I think it's a fantastic signing. Everyone talks about Bagan Woods, but his ball playing around the ruck is so good. If you can have a front row that can ball play really well, then it adds a lot to your team, because you have a look at the Dragons forward pack, right? You've got Woods, who can ball play as a ball playing prop. Jack de Bellin's ball playing at lock is outstanding. And you put those two on the starting side, yeah, they're not going to get you, your 150 meters a game or whatnot, but their ball playing around the ruck is so important nowadays, especially with the speed of the game. I think it's a great signing. And, if I was the Dragons, their back row their full pack for me, I'd go Blake Laurie, Aaron Woods in the front row. Back row, I'd go with Tarek Sims and Jaden Sewer. And on the bench, I'd go lock Jack de Bellin. On the bench, you've got George Burgess going there. You've got Francis Mollo going there. You've got Toro Fuimano also to be there as well. They've got some depth in the forwards. I'm pretty sure the Dragons are favourites of the Wooden Spoon, which I don't understand. But, geez, they've got some depth in the forward pack now.
Yeah. What about backup hooker as well, mate? You probably have young Sullivan in there at number 14, I imagine.
Yeah, maybe. It's hard to say, because they also bought Moses Mbai, which everyone forgets about as well.
True.
Which is going to be a headache for him, because I think Torrell Sloan will be the fullback. I think Ben Hunt will be the halfback. Hooker will be McCulloch. The 5'8" one's a bit of an unknown, but there's so many options. You've got Jack Bodie can play 5'8". You've got Jaden Sullivan. You've got the young Amon kid and Moses Mbai. You've got 4 options there at 5'8". Personally, I think Jack Bird at 5'8" would be a better option for me personally. But they've got some depth there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd go for the young Amon, mate, and have Jack Bird out in one of the centre positions, causing some havoc personally.
What about Moses Sully and Zach Lomax? What happens then? More headaches.
Good question. Good question. They've got some depth.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone talks about the Dragons for the Wooden Spoon.
Nah.
Bullshit.
You're off your head.
Bullshit. They have depth. And they look good for mine. They're building to something good. I think it's a good signing. Aaron Woods. Now, let's go to the rumors. The ones that have been talked about in the media. Whether it happens or not, who the hell knows? We'll start off with the first one. Corey Norman. He's been linked to the Newcastle Knights because Mitchell Pearce is going to Catalans. Corey Norman, I think if he goes there, Newcastle are absolutely fucked. What do you think about Corey Norman potentially going to Newcastle, Sam?
Not good, mate. I genuinely think he did his dash this year, and I think he could have not gone out on a better note than him dropping the ball on his final play in that final game against South Sydney, mate. I think he would be a bad signing and not what Newcastle needs, unfortunately.
Fucking terrible idea if they go for Corey Norman. Good Lord. Proenzo, what do you reckon about that if it happens?
The Knights are certainly going backwards next year. They sign Norman. That's for sure. They're going backwards if they sign him. Norman's just someone that no one can trust. He's too inconsistent. He's never really stringing any good games together. Like, he might have an occasional really good game, but then the next week he turns shit basically. So yeah, if I was any of the 16 clubs right now, I wouldn't even touch him, or 15 to say the least. But yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, no, go nowhere near him. No, he's just
I wouldn't go near him either. I think he's a
yes.
bit of a I think Corey Norman's a toxic environment. He might be a good bloke. Don't get me wrong. He probably is a genuine good bloke. He probably is, but everywhere he goes, something always happens. So I wouldn't buy him. No way. I wouldn't have him. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to another rumor signing. Luke Metcalf from the Sharks, the young Sharks half, might be going to the Warriors, which I don't really understand. I've got a heap of halves as it is. I'll start with you, Lorenzo. Luke, excuse me, I got the bloody hiccups now. I'm burping everywhere. Fucking hell. Lorenzo, Luke Metcalf, if he goes to the Warriors, do you like it, or do you think he should stay at the Sharks?
Yeah, he's a good young player, so I wouldn't blame the Warriors for trying to actually sign him. But the thing is, where does he play? Because Reece Walsh is obviously going to be their fullback, and in the halves, it's going to be Johnson and I don't know. I think Harris Tavia is leaving, but Ash Taylor's probably going to be there for only a year, and I don't think he's going to be anywhere near that long term option. So Metcalf will probably be the 5'8" with Sean Johnson, I believe. So. But yeah, look, I think Sharks losing Luke Metcalf overall is a pretty bad loss, because I think Metcalf's got a big future in the game. And, I've said it before, he's a good, talented player. So I think Sharks are going to regret this one if they do lose him. And it's a good buy for the Warriors.
Yeah. Sam, what do you reckon?
He's an absolutely scything young man. He's got great speed and great go in him. I believe that he's a bee's dick away from signing with the Warriors. And if he does, that contract doesn't start till 2023, unless if he gets paid out early, sort of thing. And so him as a combination in the halves with Sean Johnson could be really good. Probably won't do much just because they would need to know each other's game. So they wouldn't hit the ground running in that aspect. But I'm with Parenzo. I think he's got a great future in the game, man.
I'm with you. It's good future, but defensively, still needs to be a bit stronger in defense. I've watched him closely. He needs to work on his defense. He's a very exciting player, but defensively needs to improve a little bit. But big future ahead of him, I reckon. The other one, Marata Niokore. Again, why the fuck are the Warriors looking for back rowers? What are they doing? I've heard it's actually a done deal. So if Marata Niokore from Parramatta goes to the Warriors, is it a good signing? We'll start with you, Sam. What do you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. If he can get his bloody shoulders down below the bloody Adam's apple sort of thing, mate, he's a really good player, Niokore. He proved that when he played in the centres and was the bodyguard for Mitch Moses for the past 18 or so months sort of thing. But again, they're overstocked for back rowers, bro.
Yeah, they got so many. Lorenzo, what do you think about Marata Niokore if he goes to the Warriors?
I've got two opinions on it. I think he's a good player, and I think he's going to add a lot to that Warriors team, and he's going to make the forward pack even stronger. And I think his versatility, because he can play in the centers in the back row and other couple of positions. It's good. It's good for the Warriors that way. But again, do the Warriors even need some front rowers or back rowers? I mean, they're stacked with plenty of back rowers. I mean, we said it before, the Warriors have like heaps of back rows at the club, and Marata Niokore going there, it's just like it's too much. I believe it's just too much. So like I think while he's a good player, he's I don't think Warriors need him that much. But maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know, but I think he will go all right there.
I think it's a good signing. If he goes to the Warriors, Marata Niokore, solid player. Nothing special yet, but has potential to be very good. And yeah, Sam, I'm with you. He had some great games in the centers when he was playing center for a while. So he can play anywhere as well. Center, back row, lock is pretty versatile. Just a quick shout out in the chat to our good friend Paddy G in the chat. Says, "Sup, boys? Just finished a 13-hour shift and you lads are going to pick me up before I go out." Well, wherever you're going out tonight, Paddy G, I hope you get very drunk. I hope you win some money on the fruit machines, the pokies, if you have a bet. And I hope you have a very good night out wherever you go, Paddy G. So shout out to Paddy G in the chat. It's good to see Paddy G in the chat. Paddy G says the podcast is back. Yeah, supposed to be a big show with the whole draw coming out, but the NRL fooled us all, bloody assholes. But the show goes on no matter what. Right, fucking. Seriously, I'm still mad about that.
I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you to explode, brother.
Seriously, let's fucking talk about it, eh? Let's talk about it. So I spent all fucking morning waiting for this fucking draw to come out. Probably 2-3 hours I'm waiting around. I woke up at 9 o'clock this morning. Heard it was coming out at 11 a.m. And then next minute, sorry, the draw will be postponed till next week. You fucking assholes. Go fuck you, man. I'm fucking fuming about it still. Fucking hell.
Dude, if it wasn't
postpone the draw?
This is a shout out. If it wasn't for leagueunlimited.com, I think it is, I wouldn't have known about it. I wouldn't have known why. We wouldn't have. They didn't explain themselves, the NRL. But look, I can wait a weekend, bro. It's no skin off our back. But it's just that when people don't communicate, man, that's what gets my gears. And they did nothing. So poor old Harry and Sally, who got nothing else better to do up in Broken Hill, they've been waiting for this draw to come out. And they're probably still sitting at their couches going, what's going on? Where is it? There's been nothing from the NRL, man.
I waited 3 fucking hours this morning for this fucking draw to come out. I had a YouTube live stream scheduled for fucking 11 a.m. There was 39 people in the live chat, and I was about to go live. The draw still wasn't out, and I went, I'll wait till it actually comes out. And it didn't even come out because it was postponed to, I believe, next Tuesday. What the fuck? Why would you advertise it all week on the news, all over social media, all for it to be postponed to next Tuesday? Literally, meant to come out at 11 a.m. Why postpone it at fucking 12 o'clock? Are you fucking kidding me? I am still very fucking pissed off. I spent my whole fucking morning waiting for it. 39 people were waiting for me. So if you were there this morning and you didn't see me go live, I apologize. But I'm not fucking happy about it one bit. I fucked it up. They absolutely fucked it up. But I'll tell you what, when it comes out on Tuesday, it fucking better come out, and it better come out on time. Because I'm pretty sure I'm working that day. And when I get home, I'll be doing a live stream. If I get home and it's still not out, there will be a problem. I'm not fucking happy, I'm telling you. I'm still fucking fuming about it. And all fucking morning, the fucking thing. All morning I waited. 3 hours that I won't get back. I could have been sleeping for 3 more hours. Beauty sleep. Oh, well. Let's move on from it. I'm not fucking happy about it. If I keep going on about it, I'll be doing the corner post. All right. And the last 2 rumors, we'll start with this one. Josh Hodgson been linked to the Tigers. To be honest, I can't see it happening. What do you reckon, Sam? Will it happen, or do you reckon it won't happen?
I don't think it will happen, man. But like he was, it felt and read like he was that close to signing with the West Tigers, and then Tom Starling bashed some poor person up there at the Central Coast, and Hodjo also looked to his left and saw that there was another backup hooker that was either injured or gone or whatever, and he's gone, oh shit, now I feel sorry for Canberra. I probably shouldn't go or sign on the dotted line just yet anyway. So yeah, if he signs with Tigers, Raiders are right royally buggered for hookers for the first half of next year as well, man.
Yep. Lorenzo, what do you reckon? Hodgson, will he go to the Tigers or nah?
I can't see it. I think Tigers have already got 2, well, actually 1 good hooker. I think Jake Simpkins, the one better than Jacob Little, in my opinion. I don't rate Jacob Little at all, but I think they could still sign him. I think there's a chance, but again, like Sam said, the Tom Starling situation of him being trouble flat bashing in Central Coast, if he's going to play if he's going to play at the start of the season next year, who knows? Because that might cancel any part of him playing to start the season 2022. So maybe they have to keep Hodgson after all, not let him go anywhere. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I can't see it. I can't see it happening. I genuinely can't see it. Genuinely can't see it happening. And the final one, Luke Brooks. Brooksy might be going to the Newcastle Knights. I know the Tigers have come out and said, "Let's stick your hearing it. It's not going to happen." Blah blah blah. Luke Brooks to the Newcastle Knights. Will it happen? Sam, what do you think about it? What do you reckon? Will it happen or not?
Could you imagine if this happened next year, if you're a Newcastle Knights fan? Corey Norman and Luke Brooks are your halves pairing from 2022. Holy shit.
Good luck.
It's pretty fresh, like this link with Newcastle for Luke Brooks. So I don't know. I at the moment, I don't see it happening, but it's just so fresh. I'm not too sure, mate.
Yeah. I just want to give another shout out to Full Power NRL Games. He just sent another $5. I think it might have been another $5. Yeah. Full Power NRL Games just sent me another $5. Apparently it was about 8 minutes ago or something. So shout out to Full Power NRL Games for another $5 donation from PayPal. If you guys want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so. PayPal is in the link to the description below. Oh, God. Clifford and Brooks. Jesus Christ. Or Norman and Brooks. It goes from bad to worse. Lorenzo, what do you reckon, mate?
I don't like it. No, Luke Brooks is definitely a disease to any club, I feel like. I think Luke Brooks is not worth going after. He has had some good games before, but again, like, he's not consistent. He hasn't ever played a finals footy. He might be only 26 years old, but like, he has just, I don't think he's worth anything. He's not worth it. Like, he's not. I think Knights can definitely do better than Luke Brooks or Corey Norman to be exact. I think Luke Brooks is just someone I believe that will be remembered for a very failed career. I'll put it that way, a very failed career. I feel like that's what Luke Brooks will be remembered for. I will say this though. I think at the Knights he will be playing behind a better forward pack. Like, he will be playing behind a better forward pack, and maybe that could help his game more. But like, again, it's Luke Brooks. I can't trust him. I can't.
If Luke Brooks goes to the Knights, I immediately shake my head and go, no. Luke Brooks and Jake Clifford as a halves combination, it doesn't work. They're too similar. They're both halfbacks. They're both game managers. There's no natural six there. And everyone talks about, there's no difference between halves these days. I see a lot of these so-called big Instagram and Facebook social media pages. Halfback and 5'8", it's all the same. Blah, blah, blah. There's a huge difference. You need a game manager. You need a runner. You can't have the same. You put two 5'8" together. Like, for example, Milford and Nicarima, when they were together, they never worked. That was a terrible idea. That never worked. Two runners. There's no natural halfback there. You put Mitchell Pearce together with Daly Cherry Evans, for example, that never works. That's not going to work. They're both halfbacks. There's no general six there. You need one halfback who's going to game manage. You need a 5'8" who's going to run the ball very well. So Clifford is a 7, clearly. Norman is a 6. So that combination works, kind of. But Norman's just dog shit, so why would you bother? And then Clifford and Brooks, they're both halfbacks. Yes, I know Luke Brooks has a small running game, but he's not a 5'8". He's a natural halfback. So it needs to be different. You can't have it the same. It just doesn't work. That's why next year, Sam, when the Cowboys have their halves, Townsend and Dearden doesn't work because they're both halfbacks. It doesn't work. Drinkwater and Townsend work because one's a 6, one's a 7. So it's got to be different. So I don't see how Brooks and Clifford work at all. I don't see how it works.
Yep. No, you hit the nail on the head, mate. 100%.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think Luke Brooks needs a new club, and I think he would be good in a different system. But going to a team that already has a halfback just doesn't work. I did hear a rumor. Apparently, Luke Brooks' manager said Luke Brooks' preferred option is to go to the Dogs. Now, that would be perfect. Burton and Brooks, that works. Burton's a 6, Brooks is a 7. That works good. You put Brooks in a team that doesn't have a halfback, it works out well. See, with the Warriors, Sean Johnson's used to be a runner. Now he's more of a game manager. So he's going to be kicking. Chanel can focus on his running game and run the ball a lot. And both of those players can play either position. So that combination works pretty decently. But Clifford and Brooks does not work at all. So I hope it doesn't happen. Because if it does happen, it's just going to make Newcastle worse. Now let's go on to topic number 2. Tyrone May. Didn't want to bring it up. Didn't even want to talk about it, but I think it needs to be spoken about. Tyrone May, fired, sacked from the Panthers. Good decision, bad decision. I'll start with you, Pro Enzo Vita. I know you hate Tyrone May. What do you think about this? Is it good that he's lost his job?
Of course it is. I mean, why give someone that's had about 50 chances and has already fucked all of them up? It's it's not worth. He's not worth hanging on to. He's bad property. You don't keep players like that in your club. He definitely damages the reputation. So it's good to see the back of Tyrone May now. It is really good because I think now him being gone is a better look for Panthers, I think. Look, Tyrone May is a dead shit overall. I think he's a disgusting human being. I think he's a fuckwit. So it's good to see him. It's good to see the back of him. And hopefully no club picks him up. I honestly hope no one picks him up. Fuck him.
Sam, what do you reckon, mate?
Mate, Proenzo unleashed again. It's good to have you. I thought Tyrone May filled in at fullback a couple of times at the start of the year admirably. I think he will pick up another club, though. If Paul Vaughan can get picked up a couple of weeks after his breach, Tyrone May should and probably will be picked up. And I think we're going to get into it in a little bit, but there's something else surrounding Tyrone May that I'm not impressed with, and that's sort of the defense of him. But we'll get into that in a second. He deserves to get the sack ultimately. That's my bottom line. I think he deserved it.
I'm not a fan of Tyrone May. I don't think he's much of a footballer. I think he's had chances to play in the halves of Penrith, and when he did, they absolutely sucked. You go back to that game against the Tigers at Leichhardt where it was shocking. He's not really a great football player. I'm gonna just disagree with what you said, Sam, about if Paul Vaughan can get picked up, Tyrone May will. I disagree with that because Tyrone May is a shit cunt and Paul Vaughan is a good cunt. Paul Vaughan has proven that he can be a good player. He's played for New South Wales and he's proven to be, a top 10, top 15 prop in the game when he's got his head screwed on. Tyrone May is proven to be a top 10 fucking dead shit, in my opinion. So, I don't see any club looking at Tyrone May and going, oh, yeah, we'll take him for 100K. They would be absolutely mad. I can't even say Tyrone May getting a train and trial contract. I can't even say that happening. I genuinely can't see it. The only thing I have for Tyrone May is maybe go over to England, pull your head in, and just do something over there, or just stay in New South Wales Cup where you belong. He's not NRL standard for mine, Tyrone May. So, obviously it sucks that he lost his job, and he obviously, he'll be losing a bit of money now, which won't be good. I don't want to see anyone lose their job, so it's a shame that he's lost his job, but it's his own fault because he fucked up. It's his own fault. But with Tyrone May, the other part to it now, Nathan Cleary's come out and put his 10 cents in. His brother, Taylor May, has put his 10 cents in. I think Nathan Cleary is starting to ruin his reputation here. He needs to be quiet. I get it. Defend your mate. No problem. Don't do it on social media. Not a fucking good idea. Bad idea. What do you think, mate, about Tyrone May and everyone defending him?
Was that me, mate?
Yeah.
Nathan Cleary, I don't want to say he's ruining his reputation, but you're right, man. These Penrith players are proving to be that group of players that they need to stay the fuck off social media. If you want to be with your mate, if you want to defend your mate, go and talk to him in person. Don't blast that stuff out on the internet when you know what Tyrone May has done wrong. I think there are a lot of players at Penrith that I don't think they grasp the magnitude or appreciate what it is that Tyrone May did wrong and what other things they have done wrong since they won that grand final. And his brother, look, it's his brother, it's his relative, Taylan May. But he said, keep hating, and it's unfortunate that loyalty doesn't get you anywhere these days, or words to that effect. That to me indicates that he does not have the appreciation or knows or understands the magnitude of what his brother relative did, man. And so that's dangerous to me. They need to shut up and stay off social media 100%.
The other problem I have with it as well is, why couldn't Nathan just give him a phone call and be like, I'm not going to put anything on social media because it'll give me a bad look, but I'm going to say something here that's going to piss a lot of people off. It's going to fuck it. It's going to get everyone really angry, I think. I hope Penrith don't win another comp for 5 more years now after this. They have shown no respect for the history of the game. What that fucking woman did, I think it was Nathan Cleary's sister, did to the NRL Premiership itself, that is absolutely disgusting. There has been no consequences for what she did to the trophy. Everyone goes, who cares? They won the comp. Show some respect to the history of the game. How many? And everyone's going to say, but Laurie Daly did it back in the 80s. That was a complete accident. He's holding and it just fell out. I mean, that's an accident. But what the Panthers have done, no respect, no integrity. All they care about is this fucking hip hop bullshit with the speakers. Jerome Luai, Brian Toto, all this dancing bullshit. Last I checked, NRL was a very competitive and physical sport, not a fucking nightclub. And the way Penrith have carried on, and the way some of these players have carried on with themselves, it's just been disappointing, and it's been quite disgusting. So I hope the Panthers don't win a comp for another 5-10 years now. Fuck them. They've shown no respect to the history of the game. They fucked up the trophy. Someone's got sacked. They've broken a lot of the rules that the government and the NRL put in place. I hope they don't win a comp for another 5-10 years. What do you reckon, Sam?
Mate, I would like to hear what Parenzo has to say, mate.
Go on, Pro Enzo.
No, look, you both said pretty well. I thought you both said the correct things about the whole thing. Obviously Panthers don't show respect at all. It's just a shame that, in particular, most of their players, particularly the young ones, they're the ones that are mucking up. They're the ones that are putting the bad reputation and making the whole club look bad. And, it's just disappointing that something prestigious like the trophy got damaged because of, people not taking care. Like, no one takes care. Like, it's something special. Like, you're supposed to, just be normal. Like, don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot around something that's, really special, because, like, now, I think the trophy can be fixed, but still, like, it's damaged. Like, it's not good enough. No, it's disrespectful. And as for Tyrone May, well, look, and no, not for Tyrone May, Taylor May and Nathan Cleary, well, there's, they can just go to his house. Why can't they go to Tyrone May's house or give him a phone call, like you said, Nick? Because it's better than causing a real what's the word? A social media storm online. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth putting on an Instagram story where people can see, where drama can happen even more. So just go to him in person and sort it out there.
Just someone in the chat here just trying to be a bit of a dickhead. Some guy by the name of Shannon Pa or Pie says, last time I checked, you couldn't make the NRL. Well, Shannon, last time I checked, I heard you couldn't get off with your sister, cunt. So get out of my live chat. See you later, mate. You're blocked. All right. Let's move on. fuck Penrith. Now look, Penrith fans are very nice. Don't get me wrong. I reckon they're all good people, but I think what's happened with the club and what some of the players have done has been really disappointing. So not good. Let's move on to the final topic now. Now this is an interesting one. The Dolphins, obviously the new NRL team for 2023, the 17th NRL team. Question for you guys, Sam and Lorenzo. If you're the Dolphins, are you looking for short-term or long-term success? Should they develop the young juniors and go with a lot of the young kids? Or should they just go crazy and just buy a bunch of big-name players and look for early success? What would you do? Short-term success or long-term success? Sam, I'll start with you.
You would like to think that your first opportunity in the NRL that you want to go out there and win the comp straight away. So I think that probably for the first 3 or so years in the Dolphins' history, this is just a massive prediction, but I think they want to go hell for leather, and I probably would too as well, man. And then you start building, but it's up to that core group of players, those elite players that you've brought, to set a standard, much like the Scott Prince and the Luke Baileys did for the Gold Coast. And they weren't upheld very long, unfortunately, with all due respect and honesty, for very long. But there's a chance there for the Dolphins to set the standard very high for 3 years or so, and then start blooding all the U's who have understood what the role is required of them for the past 2 years or so.
Yep. I think that's pretty much a good point you made there. Obviously, they will probably go all out early. Like Wayne Bennett's the coach, they're going to go crazy early. There's no doubt about it. Lorenzo, would you go for some of the juniors, like try and build something like what Penrith did, or what the Dragons are doing now, or would you just go all out early?
I guess both come to mind. I think both is. I guess you should always do both, but I think what they should really be doing is going short term. I believe short term. I think people obviously say long term is obviously important, which it is. Long term is important, but I think where the Dolphins are now, they're going to obviously bring up a lot of young players, a lot of players that are going to develop their own, and obviously that's going to take some time. But you can see the benefits and the accolades that Penrith have got now from doing that, because they brought up all these young players like Fisher Harris, To'o, and all the others, from just starting like that. And I think with Dolphins, they could be the exact same. They can, bring up some of these young Queensland players and then, just give them a couple of years to all gel together. And that's where, I guess, long-term success starts, when the young players do end up making their mark in the game and making, or putting their name out more in the NRL when they're more experienced. I think that's where they should actually start. But, of course, you got to build your club around 3 or maybe even more big name players. So I think, majority will be like some unknowns they'll have in their team, but they're going to have to recruit some big names as well, which will have to obviously establish and lift the club more. So that's what I think, really.
I think they need to go long term here. I think they need to develop these young kids coming through, and there's no better coach to do that than Wayne Bennett. I think they should pick out some of the best players in the Queensland Cup competition, bring them in to the Dolphins, buy them on cheap deals. Don't go too extreme for them. Obviously, they'll go crazy for about 2 or 3 or maybe 4 big-name players, but you got to think long-term here, I think. I think going short-term, going all out early, trying to win the comp in your first 2 or 3 years, I think it's unhealthy for the future of the Dolphins. I think they need to go short-term and just build. No one is going to expect the Dolphins to win a comp in the first 3 to 5 years. They need to be a team that builds. They need to get a bunch of these young players from the Queensland Cup, a bunch of the young players from the Queensland under-18s and under-20 systems and under-16s, and bring them through. And yes, I want them to buy a couple of really big-name players like Cameron Munster and all these sort of players, but they got to be careful. You don't want to go too hard too early, because then when they're all off contract and they all go and they can't afford everyone, they're going to have a shit roster and things will go downhill like that. So I want to see the Dolphins build from a lot of their young players and a lot of the young juniors from there, and then bring some of the big name players in, but don't go too extreme.
Yeah, I definitely want to see 3 players make their first grade debuts.
I want to see 8 of
on
them.
round
I
one.
want to see 8
You
of them.
know, at least 3. It just, I think that signing of Regan Campbell-Gillard would have been a great mirror image of what Luke Bailey did for the Gold Coast Titans. I think Campbell-Gillard would have been perfect for that sort of forward pack leader.
I want to see 8 or 9 players in that Dolphins team that I don't even know. Like, I want to see a bunch of players I don't even know. I'm like, righto, who the hell is this? Who's this kid here? I don't even know who he is. I want to see what he can do. I don't want to see them buy half of the NRL backup players. I don't want to see them buy a bunch of flops. I want them to bring in young kids, players that I don't know, and I want to see them develop. That's what I want to see. Don't go fucking crazy and buy. We're going to buy Munster. We're going to buy Ponga. We're going to buy Marnie. We're going to buy Joseph Marnie. We're going to buy all these players. I don't want to see him do that. I want to see maybe 2 or 3 really big name players like Munster. All these sort of players. Some big name players. I don't want them going crazy for fucking 8 or 10 big name players. But I'm looking forward to seeing what the Dolphins do, but I think they should think long-term, developing some of the juniors and buy a couple of big-name players and go for the long-term success instead of trying to win the comp in the first 3 years. Because if they do, I think it's pretty unhealthy if they try to win in the first 3 years. They got to build. All right. Anything else you want to talk about, lads, before we get out of here?
No, that's it. Thank you very much for having me, mate. Thank you, Parenzo, and thank you, chat.
Lorenzo, anything from you, mate, you want to talk about before we go?
No, that's it. I think we've covered pretty much everything. But yeah, good to bring the podcast back, and yeah, good chat. Thanks, Sam.
I think it's been fantastic. The podcast, the chat's been very good. We had a couple of idiots in the chat tonight, but not too many. But I think it's been very good. But guys, that's gonna do it for the Rugby League Breakdown podcast, the off-season edition. We'll be back next week probably for the draw when it all comes out. We'll discuss the whole draw. But guys, we're getting out of here. Have a fantastic Friday night, and we will see you guys in the next one. Until then, stay safe, look after yourself. See you guys in the next one.
Adios.
Have a good night, fellas.